Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for day 3 of our 4-day gratitude challenge, helping you to find more joy in life, more gratitude, and that helps reduce the stress and also helps you to eat better as well. If you are finding me on a Facebook business page or on a YouTube channel, feel free to jump over to our free group where we are having this challenge as well as many other things. It's called Conquer Your Sugar Cravings. And here we are focused on helping you kick sugar's butt, ignite your metabolism, and also find the sweetness in life. So come on over and join us. We would love to have you. So for today's topic, good morning, Gail. So for today's topic for gratitude, I wanted to talk about giving gratitude for things that didn't go the way you had hoped. So typically, when we do a gratitude practice, this is what I had always done. In the morning, I would do a gratitude practice. It used to be maybe finding one thing I was grateful for, and then I started doing 3 things I was grateful for. Now I typically do a list of 10 that I'm grateful for. It doesn't take long. I just write down 1 through 10 on a piece of paper, and then and write them down. And then I started limiting it to 10 things in the last 24 hours that I was grateful for. So it wasn't just always the same things all the time, because when I was just doing just general gratitude every day, it was ended up being, well, I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my kids. It's always the same thing. And it's great to be grateful for those things, but then it's easy to miss out on so many of the other things and the richness and really the benefits and the depth that you can get from your gratitude practice. And then I heard a great podcast that also talked about adding to your list to be grateful for a situation that did not turn out the way that you hoped, or a situation that is less than ideal, or a situation that you don't like. So to add that's this person had added that to their gratitude list. And so now I've added that in as well. And this really expands our gratitude practice a lot. And sometimes it can be kind of challenging. So let me give you some examples. And this you may have seen if you were following me. I did a post on this. So I have a son with some special needs, and he has to get a blood test occasionally. So we went to Children's Hospital, and it's not super close by. So we had to drive, 45 minutes to get there. And then we waited for, hello, thanks for joining me. Then we had to wait there a half hour in the lab as well. It's kind of crowded, and he's really nervous during that time. Hello. So he's really nervous during while we're waiting for the lab. So I'm having to keep him calm while we're waiting for the lab. After we waited 30 minutes, then I find out that the lab orders are not in. So we just drove all this way. We waited 30 minutes for nothing. And the time of day, we went on a Friday. So now it's a Friday afternoon, and we have to drive home from Waltham in Friday afternoon traffic, which is bad, which means we have a long drive ahead of us too. So I will be honest, I will own that I was pretty annoyed when this happened. I was not happy. This was definitely a less than ideal situation. I was kind of fuming when I left. I left my husband a very angry text, probably with some bad words about, just venting about what happened. And then we decided to take a little detour on the way from the children's hospital on the way home, just because there was so much traffic. Why sit in the traffic? My son loves elevators, so we decided to stop at the mall and let the traffic die down a little bit. On the way from the drive from the hospital to the mall, I was so mad, and then I said to myself, I have to find a way to turn this situation around, because me being all annoyed is not going to be helping anybody. So I did have to kind of dig deep and think about it. When we were sitting together in the lab, and I was trying to kind of keep Jack calm and occupied, I really had a chance to get into his world. And sometimes I'm so distracted. Maybe I have household chores, maybe I have my phone, whatever it is that's going on, and he's doing his thing. So between the two of us, we're not really connecting. So to keep him calm, I really had to be face to face, like interacting with him, getting into his world. And we made up some fun games, like we had a blinking contest and we were looking around at things and we were finding things that were funny. And I was doing whatever I could to distract him. And I really got some really good one-to-one time with him, like in his world, which allows me to see kind of how smart he is and how much he understands and what a great sense of humor he has, because those things are easy to miss in the busyness of everyday life. So then I decided, okay, well that is the good thing. That is what I needed to have at that point, and it definitely helped to kind of turn things around. So that's kind of what I mean. I also sometimes it's something that you learn. So I did a business program. I paid a lot of money for it, and it was kind of short, and I did not get the results that I had hoped from it, which may be the program's fault, may not be, but took me a while to pay it off, and I was not happy about that. But the lesson there is I did learn what to look for in a program, and I did learn what I'm comfortable with in terms of a budget if I ever did another program like that. So that was maybe a piece of learning that I needed to do. And, there's other situations where, you just have a memorable time. So my parents got divorced when I was, pretty young, and so it was just my mom and I for some Thanksgivings, and we went away on a vacation for a Thanksgiving, to like, we she had saved and saved and saved and got a little cabin in Vermont, and that's where we went the first year that we had that little cabin. So we went up there for Thanksgiving, and we didn't really know how the stove worked or anything. So I think we maybe brought a small turkey or something like that, and it just got horribly burnt because the stove was not working properly. So we had no turkey on that Thanksgiving, and we had, whatever else sides there were. But we got to connect in a way that maybe we didn't before, and we had a hysterical story that we could tell, and we had a great time away in this little cabin in Vermont. And so we were able to kind of turn it around and not just be focusing on those things that were were the issue. So, and of course, you might be listening to this and thinking, oh, this is just more toxic positivity. And that's not what I mean. Sometimes there are really, truly hardships that are around, and you need to kind of acknowledge them. And there is a great poem by Rumi. Rumi was a poet from a Middle Eastern poet from the Middle Ages. Amazing. The way you spell that is Rumi. I highly suggest look up, Google Rumi. He has some of the most amazing, insightful poetry that really can change your perspective on things. And one of his poems is called The Guest House. And it talks about sometimes how we have these unwanted guests that come to stay with us. And there are these unwanted situations and there are these unwanted feelings that come and they stay with us for a little while. And also that they can stay with us and then they will leave. And we don't have to necessarily, make them super comfortable, but we can hold space for those things. So I'm not talking about just sweeping anything under the rug. But it is true that when we start training our brain to be looking at the positive things, that we will start to see more positive things. And when we start to see more positive things, our stress will go down. Our interpretation of events changes, our stress does go down. And when our stress goes down, then all of the good health habits that we want, or the positive health indicators, start to go up, and we are able to make some positive changes in our health. And just that study that I mentioned on the first day, people who wrote letters of gratitude to people in their life, they just wrote 4 letters of gratitude to people in their life in a month. And there was a noticeable change in their eating habits over that month's time frame. And even after 2 months after they stopped writing those letters, they still kept those gains. So, this really does have an impact on your health. So, I would love to know from you today, are there situations that were less than ideal that you've had to deal with and you somehow found the positive in it? Maybe there was something you needed to learn. Maybe you had ended up having it wasn't the experience you hoped to have, but you ended up having a great experience, or you just have a good story to tell. So I'd love to know what those things are for you and if focusing on gratitude these last few days has made a noticeable shift for you. So I will see you tomorrow, and then we will do a drawing for this challenge and the last challenge. All right. Thank you.